Hi everybody, welcome back on Study Room, and today we are going to do chapter 3rd, that is water resources. So water is a renewable resource. It is a renewable resource as all water moves within a hydrological cycle. That means it follows evaporation, then transpiration, then condensation, and then precipitation. So, in this way, it starts its journey from the surface of the earth and ends its journey on the surface of the earth again. But water scarcity is the problem of the hour, and the need for water conservation and management is a very real. So we often associate water scarcity with the drought prone or low rainfall areas. But in most cases, it is caused by overexploitation and unequal access to water among social groups. Right? So, causes of water scarcity. Water scarcity is done due to higher demand of water for domestic use, exploitation of water resources, expansion of irrigated lands, need for higher food production, and large growing population. Other causes of water scarcity is rapid industrialization and water demands, urban overpopulation. When we talk about rapid industrialization, industries need water for manufacturing products, but they do not need water only for this purpose. They also need water for generating hydroelectricity. And through this process, a large amount of water is utilized and energy is produced, but it also causes water scarcity. And when the point comes of overpopulation, when there are n number of people, there are n number of mouths to feed. So n number of people would need water for food, clothing, drinking, and sanitation. So all this creates water scarcity. Activity is from your everyday experience, write a short proposals on how you can conserve water. This activity is just for you, but I can help you out. Like you can switch off the tap after use. You can stop washing your vehicles. Instead, use a wet mop. In this way, water could be conserved and water can be utilized in better way. Right? Rainwater harvesting is also a good point, and we will be discussing it in the further slides. Then comes multi-purpose river project. It is a new thing and you all should remember it. So when our India got independence, Jawaharlal Nehru first thought of it, right? So we had water, but we didn't know how to use it in multiple ways and to get profit in n number of ways. So Jawaharlal Nehru founded this system: multi-purpose river projects and integrated water resource management. Right? So in this, what happens? There are dams construction done under it. Right? So this is your dam. Right? This triangular structure. It has this base refers to as foundation. There is a foundation soil. This is called spillway. This is upstream. Upstream means from where the water is coming. So water is coming from here, right? There, and this creates a reservoir water. So it is an artificial structure, human made, and it stops water midway. It blocks its path. It stores it and then releases some water. So sometimes it also co- produce hydroelectricity, and sometimes, or more often than not, they have a water reservoir. So what are dams? Dams obstruct, direct, or retard water flow, creating a reservoir of water. They are built for the purpose of irrigation and power generation. Power generation can be seen as hydroelectricity. So dams can be of different ways based on heights and the purpose. So height could be small dams, large dams, right? So we'll be discussing about specific and significant dams throughout this chapter. So this is a Bhakra Nagal Dam, right? It is situated on the border of Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, and there is Gobind Sagar Reservoir, right? So I hope you can see this video. Hydraulic structures in ancient India. So as you have seen that dam is a hydraulic structure, but before independence also we have a different structures in ancient India. So let's just study them chronologically. In 1st century BC, what happened? Srivangapura near Allahabad hydraulic structure was constructed. In Chandragupta Maurya's reign, you all have heard about Chandragupta Maurya definitely in history books, and lakes and irrigation system was done by Chandragupta Maurya. 11th century Bhopal Lake, one of the largest artificial lake of its time, and you all should remember it. Bhopal Lake was a very big one. 14th century tank in Horse Khas people, you must have seen it, right? Delhi's Horse Khas area is really famous, and it was built by Iltutmish for the Siri Fort area. And whenever you come to Delhi, just visit this place. This is a very nice place. Scrutiny and criticism against multi-purpose projects. So multi-purpose project might seem very rosy and have all the benefits and all, but every activity, every human made creation would definitely have drawbacks as well. So what are the drawbacks? First thing is, it affects the natural flow of river. So the river was flowing this way, and you have constructed dam in the middle of the river. What happens? It constructs the flow of river, causing poor sediments flow. So sometimes what used to happen, that rich sediments used to flow, and they used to settle around banks, and that would create alluvial soil and more fertile soil along the bank of the river. But now it's happening that poor sediments are flowing in the river just because of the construction of dam. Excessive sedimentation at the bottom of the reservoir affects aquatic life. So you might have seen like this was a foundation in the previous picture, and there was foundation soil, or there was some sedimentation soil. So all sediments get deposited here, and the aquatic life here, it gets affected. Submergence of vegetation and wildlife. So in the reservoir area, when there is so much of water, all the wildlife and vegetation would submerge inside it, right? Displacement of local communities. And when such a huge construction is done, all the local people are displaced from that area, right? So it also has a cultural impact as well. Fragmentation of rivers affecting the migration of aquatic life. So initially what used to happen, that fishes used to move this side and that side, all sides, okay. But now what is happening? They cannot move because they have a dam construction in the middle of a river. The Narmada Bachao Andolan, and that's why, because of certain criticism, the local people, the tribal people, and the environmentalists came forward and created a movement which became revolutionary in its term, and it's one of its kind, and it's really very famous. That is Narmada Bachao Andolan in the year 1985. And who was a leader here? Lady called Medha Patikar, and she was very famous throughout this Andolan until now also. She is the one leading this movement. And this movement against construction of Sardar Sarovar Dam has mobilized farmers, tribals and environmentalists, right? So you all can see that how people have come forward in this picture also, how women's and local people have come forward, that we should not be displaced because we are the culture of this area. And it not only affects aquatic life, the human life also, because rivers are not only for your usage and exploitation. They are the mother. People consider them as mother and they worship them, and there is a culture associated with the rivers, and which would be vanished when there would be construction of dam. And sometimes illegal dams are constructed where they are not supposed to be constructed, but because of corruption they are situated at certain places, and it might create earthquake. So these are very dangerous at times. Then comes other impacts of multipurpose projects, and multipurpose projects more often than not they have negative implication, like change in cropping pattern. We all have a natural pattern how to grow crops, how not to grow crops, but because of some this artificial structure, what happens, there is a shift to water intensive and commercial crops. So people are growing more and more profitable crops, and they are avoiding the natural crops over there, right? Change in social landscape. There is increased gap between richer landowners and landless poor. So what happens when water comes and you have to pay the price for water for your agricultural field? So only rich people can do that. So rich farmers or rich landowners get richer, more money, right? Or poor, they get more poorer. So there seems a wide disparity between rich and poor. Rise in interstate water dispute will be dealing it, especially because there are so many interstate water dispute tribunals established. Because what happens is that because of dam construction, states start fighting with each other that we should get the profit of dams, right? More profit. 70% of water should come into our states, and one state says no, this belongs to river originates from here, so we should get more profit. So states in the Indian national are fighting against each other because of water right now. Flooding and soil erosion, you must have known, because when a land is emptied up, dam is constructed, so the trees are cut, and trees are used to hold the soil. You must have heard why are trees very important, because their soil holds their roots hold soil. So it, like tree is this, but there are soil attached to the roots. So this prevents soil erosion. But when there are no trees, soil would be not binded by anything, and it would move loosely, and erosion might take place, right? It can move about right, left, and center. Then comes our flooding. Flood can take place. Induced earthquake, as I have told you earlier also, that just because somewhere illegal construction is being done, and geomorphology is not kept in mind, or it is not, the factor is not considered, and the land is not thoroughly checked, it might create earthquake, it might create seismic waves under the earth, because dams are huge and huge construction. Okay, they also induce waterborne diseases, and pest and pollution can increase, because you are playing with nature, and that's why you would get you have to bear the consequences of major rivers and dams in India. You could see it is Bhakra Nagal Dam, on which river? Satluj, I guess, right? Satluj, you can see it here, and there is also Tehri Dam, right? Ganga River, and you can see Gani Sagar, Rana Pratap Sagar Dam, Sardar Sarovar on Narmada River, here Hirakund on Mahanadi. So there are so many Periyar, right? Tungabhadra River dam construction is Nagarjun Sagar Dam on Krishna River. So you can see there are so many dams, and you all should practice it beforehand, before the exams, because it is really very important from the exam point of view. I've shown you this map, and you should take notice of this map. Okay, thoroughly prepare it, and I've already showed you all the points. All the dams, black are dams. So all these are important. Only 5 to 7 are there. So you should remember it by heart. Find out more about any one traditional method of building dams and irrigation works. So we have already done this activity in the class because we have discussed the different hydraulic structures, right? You can cite the example of Horskhas water reservoir done by whom? Iltutmish for Siri Fort. So these are very important and prominent examples that you should be citing in your activities. I guess it works. Then make a list of interstate water disputes. So you can, you must. Oh God. So you have seen Narmada, right? Krishna, Kaveri. So these are the rivers which are being disputed against, right? So these are the interstate water disputes and these are the rivers, and like the common ones are Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka. So when you see these rivers, you will analyze that these three states would be fighting with each other on different rivers, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka, for the profit of interstate water dispute. So you can see how greedy man is. And the dam construction, how devastating it is for the local people. So you can see a list of interstate water dispute. We have done Narmada, Krishna, Kaveri, right? We do not have any dispute for Ganga River, which is well known, right? But south states and south rivers have really been disputed, and the government has set up a different tribunals for it, that is called interstate water tribunals, and they are looking into the matter and discussing it, taking it to the high courts and supreme court. Different benches have been sat on it, and still the verdict is yet to come. So I hope you are clear with all the things we have discussed so far about water being a renewable resources, about different hydraulic structures, about a dam, how are dams and how are they categorized. We have also studied about the consequences after the dam construction, and how negative negatively they impact the modern lives, and how people have come forward, like in Narmada Bachao Andolan, for fighting for their rights. And I hope this lesson was really clear to you all, and hope to meet you all soon in the next video of this series. Thank you all. Take care.